Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Tonight, hello.
Hi.
Say hi to Mitch.
Hello, good evening.
All right. Good evening.
Hi, Mitch.
So tonight, what we'd like to do is take you through ResNet, and we'll take you through the landing page, and we'll show you what information is available there for members. And then for new members, we will make a reservation.
Can I ask the people mute themselves when they're not talking, please?
Okay, so we'll start with the landing page. So when you log in to your to the reservation system, this is the page that you'll see. So this is where announcements will be posted. The delay for the club for 1 week. There's information for member newsletters, and Bryant puts those newsletters out and continues to add to that site. So whenever there's a member newsletter sent, it will be saved on that site. So you can see it right here. That would be the website that you would go to. There's other information that we have, obviously here, all the temperatures, location, certain restrictions, places we don't want you to boat to for safety purposes, information about locations. So that's the landing page. From there, you can go to the info page. And on the info page, again, all of the locations are listed. All of the addresses are listed. If you plan to make a reciprocal reservation, and for those who don't know what that is, it's a reservation that could be made at any other Carefree boat club other than the 5 in your system. There's questions listed. You can go through those, get the answers to. We'll do a reciprocal reservation once we get into the whole making a reservation area. There's also questions and answers on the wait list, and then contact information if you have questions about ResNet. Any questions so far?
Yes, real quick. I'm sorry. What's the actual website? Is it southernconnecticut.reservemyboat.com?
It's southernct.
Yep.
.reservemyboat.com.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you automatically get access once you've signed up, or do you have to enable it?
Once I create your contract in ResNet, you'll receive an email directly from the system.
Do that yet, or
You can create your username and password. And
Well,
then once you've completed your on the water training, I'll sign you off in ResNet, and that's when you'll have access to start making reservations.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All ready to go.
Hi, sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry. So once I completed my on the water training last week. When would I get that? When would-
I see that your husband
Yes.
created his username and password. So I did send you your invite as well. Did you check your spam folder? Because sometimes those end up in spam.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Okay, if it's not there, just send me an email and I can resend the invite to you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions?
If we were a previous
Can you please
member,
check, because we need to,
do we still have just access to it now? This is Sid Honig.
Hey, Sid.
Do we still have access and everything, same passwords and everything that we
Yes,
used to have?
yes, I emailed you. We went back and forth. Remember, we set up
Okay.
your name and password. So yes.
Okay, right.
This is Roy.
I,
Yeah, I didn't get an email and I can't get into it when it just spins and spins. ResNet.
Something he should talk to you about off the
Oh, yeah,
Zoom.
young white people should also sit
Right.
there.
Mhm.
Let her get through the program.
Right.
That's why these things take so freaking.
Right, I know that you are using your same username and password, correct?
Yeah, yeah, but when
Yeah.
I go to the site, I don't get anything.
Well, there's no boats out there yet, that's why.
No, I mean, I get a white screen.
No, this is about the Zoom class. No, okay.
I can reset your password and send
See?
you that
Oh, John,
information.
come here for a
Yeah,
second.
see,
I
that's
need
what I
help.
get.
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
Can we
I'll-
stick to
let's
the
talk-
reservation that we're here to do?
I'll
And
be in touch and we can talk about that.
individual questions can be addressed individually?
I'm sorry.
I was just saying if we could stick with the ResNet and then individual requests can be addressed
Yes.
individually
Yes.
outside the Zoom call.
We just said that. Yes, we just said that. Yep. So any other questions? Or can I continue with making a reservation?
It's another Roy. Very quick question. So the reservation, I have everything set up. It's not working yet, right? Because there's no boat
Correct.
available. Okay, just
Correct.
want to make sure. When do you think we're gonna start to have a boat?
I'll be starting to add boats into the system Thursday morning, about 9 o'clock. So they
Okay.
won't all appear at once. It'll be a process across each location, but I'll be starting.
Okay.
Hi there, it's Amy Reuter. Question, please. How many boats will Westport have? Hi, Brian. Amy Reuter, can you hear me?
Hi, Amy.
Hi. How many boats will Westport have, please?
Amy, this is Mitch. How are you?
Mitch, good. How are you?
Great. So we will hope to have by the 8th of May about 50 to 60% of last year's fleet and a few 2021 boats. The boats
I'm
that
sorry?
primarily will
Say
not
it
be in
again?
the water are the bow riders, the chaparrals.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. How
But
many?
ultimately, Westport will have 10 and boats, and we're looking.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
We
Everyone
can
give
hear
me a
you now,
thumbs up?
yes. Yep, thumbs up. We can hear you. Thank you. Yeah, I think a bunch of us on the chat line are saying, let's get the information now, do the demo, and anybody who's got questions, you should hold them to the end.
Yeah.
A suggestion.
Fine. Okay. So
And also please mute everybody except for the presentation.
all right. So what you see here is okay. So what I've done is I've made a reservation on a boat in Westport just to hold the boat. So when you go into reservations, you'll see up here in the left corner, right now I'm in Westport. You would change that location to wherever it is that you would like to make a reservation. So I'm going to go into Westport. We'll start again. So I'm just going to cancel this reservation that I have. Okay. So
I don't think you're on screen.
okay. Now I need to go. So let's start again. We'll go to the reservation tab. and we'll go to Westport. And you will see the list of boats. Once they're all released on Thursday morning, you'll see a list of boats there. I'm afraid to cancel this reservation, but I have to cancel it. Okay. So it's only, I'm just going to show you a reservation for tomorrow, actually May 5th. But if you're on the site, when you're making a reservation, you would select any of the days. You can go forward to the next month by hitting next. I'm hitting previous to go back. Again, you can select your location from this box. So you'd like to make a reservation for May 5th. So from the calendar, you would select May 5th. You would see May 5th here. You have the option to select a morning reservation or an afternoon reservation. And if available with your membership, you can make an all-day reservation. So I'm going to make this reservation for 9 a.m. showing that it counts as one weekday reservation. You would need to put a start time in there.
Oh, I mentioned how much that helps the staff out.
Yes. So the normal morning reservation starts at 9 a.m. But if you know that you're not going to get to the dock until 10:30, we ask that that's the date that you would, or the time that you would put in, because it does help our staff as far as getting boats ready for the day. So I'm putting in 10 a.m. You're back in, and if you plan to come back early, you would put that time in there as well, but your return time is 1:30. Please add the number of adults that are going to be on board, number of children. If none, then it would stay 0. And if you have a special request for the staff, if you'd like a bag of ice, if you'd like the table set up on the boat, this is where you would put your note in. And then you would select create your reservation. And the reservation is made.
Get an email.
Right. So we'll go back to reservations, Westport. And I see my reservation. I'm reserved 9 a.m. to 1:30. And you will get an email from the reservation system confirming that reservation. It'll also show the notes that you put in. And then, of course, if you want to cancel that reservation, all you would do is just click on your session and then hit cancel the reservation. So now, how am I going to get to it? Okay. So now, is everyone all set with that? It's pretty easy. Just, picking out your location, picking out the boat that you plan to take, and then setting up your time, morning session or afternoon session. And then if you plan to be there at 9 or 10 or 11, you put all that information in, and then how many people on board.
Real quick question. The old day, so presumably under certain memberships, that's fine, but others it would count as 2 sessions. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. We have what's called spur of the moment reservations. So if you have your reservations that you're allowed in the system already booked, you can call the dock staff the morning of. If you plan, you wake up and you say, gee, it's a nice day, I'd like to go out boating, you can call the dock staff. And if there is a boat available, they will make that reservation and they can make it in your name, and it doesn't affect any of the reservations that you already have in the system. Questions?
Are we able to look online as to availability that day? Or we have to call the dock staff?
You have to call the dock staff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same as where you're blocked out that 24-hour prior. or
Okay,
I think
it's,
yeah,
is that what it
36
is,
hours.
24 hours?
I think it's 36 hours, actually.
Okay.
And if we've reached our max number of reservations, can we then, beyond that, can we do spur of the moment and then pay extra, pay the additional per trip?
Are you talking about if you have an 8-pack membership, the limited membership?
Whatever I think I have is there a 14?
No, not yet.
No. Okay.
But I hear you're lobbying for it.
Yeah, I guess my question is just if I reached my maximum number of trips and I still want to go boating, is there a per trip sort of deal that goes
No,
into
there's
it?
not. But
Okay.
with that 8-pack, you're able to upgrade to any of the unlimited memberships and just pay the difference.
Okay.
Quick question. If we log in and use our specific username for each account, does that tell me, after I look back my contract, I forgot how many, how many reservations I can make. Does that show me that how many reservations I have left and everything else specific to my membership type?
Well, when Mary Beth signed in, when it first comes up, when you look at your homepage, you will see how many boats that you have reserved in the future.
Right.
So if you're a Premier 2 and you have a weekday and a weekend in the future, you'll see the boats and the reservation time. I don't know if I'm answering your question there.
Mitch, I think he's asking a separate question. I think he's saying, hey, is it going to show me what I have left? So if you're under the 8-pack and you've already used 3, is it going to show me I got 5 and here's my segmentation? I got 3 weekends and 2 weekdays.
No, it doesn't. And if you have
Okay.
a question like that, you can just email me and I can look up to see what your usages were and how many you have left.
Got it. Thank you.
Mitch and Mary Beth, this is Stephen Hurd. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Quick question, and thanks for the demo. On the spur of the moment, I think you had said that you're locked out either 24 or 36 hours in advance. So in order to make one of those bookings to evaluate where there may be open boats, do you need to call all 5 or 6 dock masters to find out where there may be an opening?
No, because the dock master can see what's available in all the locations. However, they'll need to check with that particular, if there is a boat, say, open in Stamford, they'll need to check with Stamford before confirming with you because they don't really know, what's going on in the Stamford location versus Westport. But they can check and tell you that. And you can always, call yourself, just call the Stamford location.
That's helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
How many
Questions?
reservations can you make at one time?
We'll talk about the membership plans in a couple minutes, but if you're a Premier 2, as an example, you can make 1 weekday and 1 weekend reservation.
So when I log in, you can make 2 then in that scenario. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And then when you use the boat and return it, or you cancel the reservation because of weather, if that reservation capacity frees up and you can make another one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'd like to just kind of introduce you to the reciprocal reservations. So emails that you've received from me, I'm constantly asking for copies of your boating license. So that goes into the ResNet system. When you request a reciprocal reservation, your license must be on file. So if you have not sent it to me, I will need a copy of that if you plan to use a reciprocal reservation. They won't accept any members' requests without a license on file in the ResNet system. And just not to get, offline here, but many of you have sent me temporary boating certificates, and I appreciate that, but I will also need a permanent license as a follow-up, because your temporary certificates do expire. Okay, so now we'll go into the reciprocal reservation side. So on your reservation page, there's a box called Reciprocal Reservations. There's a button here to request the reservation, and this box pops up. So you would go in and select a location. You'll notice, I don't know why ours are there, but so California, I mean, there's plenty out here for us to look at, but we'll just go to Marina Del Rey. So you would put in Marina Del Rey. But what I explain to members who ask questions about reciprocals is it makes sense for you to go to the Carefree Boat Club website, the main website. And I'm going to show you that. So this is the Carefree Boat Club website. You go to locations. And here's California. I'm going to use Marina Del Rey as an example. And you would look at their fleet. And here they have all the boats available at their location. And you'll see that some of these boats are bigger boats. Our members are able to make reservations on 26, the highest, the largest boat you can make a reservation on is a 26-foot boat. So I guess that's a bad one to use because I don't know any smaller boats.
Yeah, Marina Del Rey has a lot of captained boats.
Yeah.
Only members can take it out with a captain.
I'm sorry, we'll go to another location. Back one.
Mitch, when are you bringing in the 27, 28-foot formulas? Okay, never
Hey, Mary
mind.
Beth. Mary Beth, it's Laura Ambrogio. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Hey, do any of the reciprocals have sailboats that we can charter?
I don't know that. I don't.
I think we could all count the number of sailboats in Carefree Boat Club on one hand. So I do know Virginia Beach does have a sailboat.
Okay.
You can
Does
go
Annapolis?
through, obviously you can go through the different sites here. But what I suggest is that you would go to whatever location it is that you're planning to travel to, only because you can check out the types of boats they have, and then you can put in the type of boat that you'd like to reserve. And then you'd have to, so you would select the type of boat, you'd put in your AM or PM, and reciprocals they're half day only. And then you would have to provide them with your first, second, and third choice dates. And just as you would be making a reservation with our club, you'd have to put the number of adults, the number of children, contact information, and any notes necessary. So couple of requirements. One, as I told you, you need to have your boating license on file in ResNet. Two, if it's a new Carefree Boat Club, corporate honors the individual clubs if they're, I believe, 6 months or right, it's up to 6 months, correct? You don't need to offer reciprocals. So
New clubs,
yeah. So new clubs up to 6 months, they don't need to offer reciprocals. It's not required, so you may not see that particular location available. And then the other requirement is members need to complete 6 outings with their home club without incident. They just want to make sure you're a good boater.
Question, Brian, Amy Reuter here. Do the reciprocals count within the number of, let's say you just have 2 reservations a week? They do
No.
count with, they
No,
don't?
no.
Okay.
You can make a reciprocal reservation. You can actually make 3 reciprocal reservations at each club per year.
In addition to your own that you
Correct.
paid into,
Correct.
but aside from your, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
What is the maximum reciprocals you're allowed total in 1 year? Or does that depend on your plan?
No, it doesn't depend on your plan. It's just 3 reservations at each location per
So
club.
it's, okay, so it's an unlimited number of reciprocals. Like if I were traveling every other month, there's no limit as to how many I could reserve?
3 reservations per location
Okay.
per year.
A quick question. You said per year means our membership will end at December, so I can make a reservation in Florida in December?
Yeah, your reservation is a rolling 12 months. So if you signed up in August 1st of this year, your membership would last until July 31st next year. So your reservations are on a rolling year where the reciprocal reservations are on a calendar year. So under that example, if you signed up on July 1st or August 1st, you could go boating at the other 100 Carefree boat clubs 300 times, and that gets reloaded on January 1st, and you go for another 300 times.
Mhm.
If that
I see. So where I can find like my membership start?
your membership contract that you signed, did you keep a copy of it?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, if you can't find it, just email Cheryl or me or Mary Beth, and we can easily pull it up.
Mitch, what's the cost of the reciprocal reservation?
You only have to pay for fuel.
That's awesome.
Mary Beth,
Yes.
is the boating license good in all states?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody
Hey,
online who's actually done a foreign reservation wants to jump in on this?
Patrick?
Sure, Mitch.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I've gone out of Marina Del Rey on a reciprocal reservation. There's lots of boats there. Be careful. It's
All
a
right,
lot
I'm gonna-
marine in North America. There's a lot
Mitch-
of stuff to run into, but I didn't have any issue. And I also did reciprocal down in Florida in Fort Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
No issues. Nice people.
Yeah.
I think the maximum allowed is 5, Mary Beth.
3 per location
3 per location.
per year.
Okay. I thought it was 5 maximum throughout North America.
No, they changed that
Yeah.
policy, what, 2 years, 1 year, 2 years? Was it
year was in
last year?
effect, yeah.
I think it was last year it started. Yeah. Corporate changed that policy to 3 per location per year.
Mitch, Mary Beth, I got a question. My name's Kevin Curtin, by the way. Nice to meet you both, and thank you for the time. Reciprocal, is that like, I'm in Stamford. Is that anything outside of Stamford, or is it anything outside of Southern Connecticut?
Outside of Southern Connecticut.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just a word of advice for you folks. If you're walking down the streets of Fort Lauderdale because you're on vacation and say, hey, let's go boating, that's not going to work. They require, I believe, 2 days notice minimum.
And 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks during the winter months, because there were a lot of reservation requests this past winter. And unfortunately, they had to deny a lot of them because it was just so busy. So I suggest if you're going to travel somewhere, especially during busy times, during the year, I would request at least 2 or 3 weeks prior to the date that you're looking for.
Mary Beth, can I ask a quick question? This is Ellen Bryceland.
Hi, Ellen.
Just when you were, when you pulled up Marina Del Rey, I thought I heard one of you say that some of the boats are captained. Does that mean that we could book a reciprocal reservation at another location and actually have a captain?
Yes.
Yeah, they're probably going to charge you for the captain, but.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, totally know that, but I'm just wondering, if we're going someplace where it's, the waters are new type of thing, if that's an option, it's just good to know.
I would say that's probably an option everywhere. You just have to ask.
Okay.
Mary Beth showed you the notes section. So you may want to put in there and said, would prefer a captain. Please let me know if there's an additional cost, something like that.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Mary Beth, this is Ron. So we signed up the contract at October 1st, but we were told the starts April. Just wondering, because we never did anything right until now. Wondering how, as you said, it's 12 months kind of period. When should we be counted for these 12 months?
You completed your training, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, so your contract started the day of your training.
I see. Got it. Thank you.
The training is, I see, in April.
Is that actually correct? Because that's different from what Mitch said. I'm just kind of curious. We signed a contract on a certain day. We're not eligible until we complete the training. I get that. But from what I heard, the reciprocal is based on when you sign the contract. So back to the prior question, if that's correct, then he's right. That calendar year is going to, or not that calendar year, that fiscal year is going to end a year from when he signed the contract. I'm in the same boat, actually, so I'm curious. And this,
So,
I realize this is reciprocal.
Yeah, it could get a little bit confusing. Depends upon the membership you sign with us. We had a thing called Endless Summer. So if
Okay.
you joined very late in the boating season with us, like September, October, you could still go boating there, but we pushed out your contractual start date to April 1st the following year. And then it
Okay.
ran 12 months from there.
But Mitch, if somebody did preseason, like in other words, before April, does it start April or does it start when you sign it? So it was after the end of last year, but before this year.
Again, double check your contract, but it will have a contract start date. But at the end of the day, when it comes to foreign reservations, what really counts is when you start paying that ResNet fee.
Oh, okay.
So that $360 a year or $30 a month, whenever you start paying that, that's what the people at corporate look at. So if you're current on that,
Yeah, I
don't
paid
care
it
when your
all.
membership started.
Yeah, I paid it all at once. So just to get it over with. Okay.
Mary Beth? Hello?
Hi, Joe.
Hi. If I made a reservations outside of Southern Connecticut in advance, is it possible for me to get bumped? Can they come back to me after I made the reservation and they confirmed it, that they say, sorry, we need it for our members?
No, they should not be able to do that. I would think the only reason why you would get canceled would be due to weather. That's it. Or a boat being down for service.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
So for reciprocal, wondering, because this is a request, what can we see it get approved or reserved?
Once you put your request in, it will take for at least 48 hours for you to receive the confirmation. Putting in your request doesn't mean that you have that reservation. You have to wait for the confirmation to come from corporate.
I see. So the confirmation comes through email or is in the account?
Email.
Okay, thank you.
And that's it's 2 weekdays. So if you put a request on Friday, we probably won't hear back till Tuesday or Wednesday the next week.
Correct. Thanks, Brian. That's right. The reciprocal group doesn't work on weekends. So it's a weekday system that they have.
Hi, this is Joe. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So I'm out of Rye. So if I went to New Rochelle, it would be a reciprocal reservation, not a normal reservation?
No, that's part of our club. So if you made a reservation in Bridgeport, Westport, Stamford,
It's not reciprocal.
Rye, or New Rochelle, that's considered part of the Southern Connecticut Club. It's not,
Thank you
they
so much.
are not considered reciprocals.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does holiday counted as a weekday or weekends if it's fall into weekday?
Actually, I was going to talk about that. Holidays, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day are considered weekend reservations.
And quick question. So of the locations that are considered same club from Bridgeport to Rye, I see, at least from the website right now, so some locations has more fleet, more number of boats than others. So is that updating information? And also if, for instance, Westport has a lot more boats than Stanford, does it mean that I probably better go to Westport? A better chance to get a reservation?
Not really, because we maintain a ratio of members to boat. So even though they may have 40 boats there, they're going to have a lot more members.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. It's proportionate. Interesting.
So our New Rochelle location having 3 boats, you probably will start to see a lot of more, you'll see more availability there because those boats aren't full.
That's a very smart system.
Yeah, I won't take credit for that. Mary Beth will, though.
Okay. You want to talk about the member handbook now?
Sure. Since a lot of you are new with us, we published a member handbook, but I just want to talk about your membership. So people have asked a few questions about that. So we have 4 levels of membership. They all have equal rights to each boat and each location. It's really based on how many reservations you can make in the system or the maximum amount of times you can go out. So right down here in the bottom of the page, here are the 4 plans we have. We have a Premier 4. This is the full membership. This is good. We try to set expectations because we say that you have the ability to go out unlimited times, but based on a 7-to-1 member ratio or member to boat ratio, how we've seen members go out, our expectations that you should go out a minimum of 24 times. Now, I say minimum, this is under your control. We've had people go out a lot more than that, and we've actually had people go out less than that. But when we size up your membership plan, if you're not in the right plan, we can move you to another one. The Premier 2 expectations are you're going to go out 12 plus times. And again, both of these membership plans are talking 40 to 50% on weekends. We've had members go out 30 plus times on the Premier 2, and we've had members go out 8 times on the Premier 2. So if you're going to be significantly off those expectations, give me a call and make sure we can get you into the right plan. It's really, it's incumbent upon the member to make their reservations, obviously. If they're more flexible in the sense that they can go out morning and afternoons, or they can go on different style of boats that they just don't want the bow riders, they can take center console boats, and or they're willing to travel to other clubs, you should see a lot more availability. Does that help out? Okay, so this membership, our members directory is located on a link that, can they access the link? A lot of the questions new members have are touched upon here, such as life jackets. Every boat has 8 adult life jackets on board. We do not carry very many children's life jackets. So if you have children yourself or bringing another family with you, please make sure they bring their own life jackets. We keep maybe a half a dozen there as backups in case someone forgets theirs. But it's like the kids' life jackets come in like 4 different sizes, so it's very difficult to keep a lot of them on staff in the inventory.
This is the site right here.
Okay, so on the landing page that Mary Beth talked about, you see here, there's a link to get to the members handbook.
It's carefreeboats.com/locations/Southern Connecticut /news-events. And that's where you'll find previous emails that have gone out to members, Zoom classes that Mitch did for navigation. This as well, correct? This will be out there for you, for members to review, and the member handbook is out there also. What else do you have out there?
Everything really.
So Bri actually posts information out there. So if you have a question, I suggest that you go to this location. You'll find everything that you need. And if not, just let us know.
What's next?
I think that's all I got. You did the live jackets? Okay.
Mary Beth, does the ResNet reboot itself, can you make your next reservation at the end of the day or the end of the period? When does that reset itself?
It's it's just it's live. So
Yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't clear with the question. If you went out on a Tuesday at the end of your boating session, could you make your next weekday reservation?
yes, as soon as the dock staff closes out your reservation, you're ready to make your next one.
Thank you.
Mary Beth or Mitch, quick question. So have you guys figured out the split in Stamford, in May, let's say at the beginning of the season? Is it going to be Robalos and Briggs on the crab shell side and Chaparrals on the Beacon side? You're laughing at me.
Because we knew this question was coming. We talked about it today, Brian.
All right. That's for me. Thank you.
All right, so you live right there. So last year when we had to get split up by BLT, we thought it would be a pain in the neck, actually. And people were going to get frustrated and confused. So we put alike boats on one side and the other boats on east side or west side. So on the west side, we had the Briggs and the fishing boats, center console boats. And then on the other side, we had the cruising Chaparral bow rider boats. We are now talking about taking the fleet and dividing it in half and put a mix of boats on each side. Because we're getting more and more people actually from the west side of the river there. And, if they want a chaparral, they find it difficult or a pain to drive to the other side and park in the Beacon Tower there when they live 15 yards away from the dock on the other side. So any feedback on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't love that personally, but I mean, that's for my own personal reasons. I like what you did last year, which is if it's going to be split, like boats on one side. If I know that all the fishing boats are on one side, it just makes it easier for reservations and, all the bow riders, but, I'll deal with it. Yeah. And as you guys know, parking at Prime is just 10 times easier than dealing with, the Harbor Point side.
But if we had all the fishing boats on the east side, then what would you say?
Positive and a negative. I know parking's a pain over there for carrying fishing gear and all, but whatever. I know you'll do, I'll just deal with it regardless.
Hey, Mitch, this is Sandy McPherson. I'm going to have to agree with Brian as well. Is there a percentage of club members that live on the Beacon side versus a percentage on the other side that we can look at or, use that to help make the decision?
Well, it's growing. I think we're predominantly on the east side. But I haven't looked at that in about a year or two. Our goal is to get back together because operationally it's very difficult to handle having split operations and running back and forth. And we were supposed to be consolidated on the southern side of Ponus this year, but the construction got in the way.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
So whatever we do, we'll undo it again next year, hopefully.
Okay. Thanks.
And so for Premium 2, wondering, is it strictly we can only put one for weekday, one for weekend, or potentially that if a boat open, we can put 2 for weekday?
You can, again, Premier 2 gives you 1 weekday reservation, 1 weekend reservation. You can downgrade your weekend reservation to a weekday and say book the boat all day Friday. You just can't go the other way around and upgrade in our minds because there's so few weekends. You can't upgrade a weekday to make a weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Can I ask a question? This is Paula Rowe. If I have a limited membership and I'm trying to understand this reciprocal, so say I have exhausted all of my limited membership pack, I can still have unlimited reciprocals because I'm on Long Island. I was looking to use the Port Washington Harbor, which I guess I misunderstood when I signed up. I thought you guys had said after last summer, this summer, they would be part of it. So I've misunderstood that. So I just want to make sure I'm understanding the reciprocals with the limited membership.
So if you're paying your $360 a year fee, there's no difference between whether or not you're a Premier 4 or a limited usage membership. They don't look at our membership plans relative to reciprocals. So I'll use the example of if there's 100 boat clubs outside of Southern Connecticut and New York here, you can boat 300 times as a 8-pack member here in Connecticut.
Okay, that is amazing. Thank you so very much for that info. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, this is Leslie Hinshaw. I don't know if anybody else is in this situation where we haven't been, our online or our on boat training was canceled because of weather. And then we're supposed to do our next one to Wednesday, which looks like there's going to be weather issues as well. If people haven't been able to do it because of weather, are we going to be able to book on ResNet? Are we able to book a boat on Thursday morning?
Right now, unfortunately, you have to be signed off in ResNet or training in order to take a boat out. Otherwise, we really can't keep track of you. That's our only audit in the sense that once you pass training, then you get Mary Beth releases your username and password.
So how can we get trained if they keep getting canceled? I don't know if anybody else is in the same situation as me, because it's only, I don't know, when's the next.
Leslie, there are many people in your situation.
There are,
The weather
okay.
has been horrible this month. Or
I'm actually happy to hear that. Unfortunately,
I know it's been quite a nightmare. So there have been many people that I've had to reschedule, and some people have been rescheduled 3 and 4 times.
Oh,
now.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I could throw out a suggestion, and then Mary Beth can bite my head off after this. Is if you have more flexibility on where you can go out of.
Oh yeah, totally. But she's going to bite your head off.
Yeah. I am, because we have a rule that you train out of your home club.
I mean, I prefer to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in fairness to all, by the way, Mary Beth, we, as you know, John and I were rescheduled 3 times, and I feel Leslie's frustration. And I was thinking ahead of time how we would deal with this if we couldn't go out last Friday in that terrible gale. But perhaps maybe you could save some reservations and get a feedback from them as to when they would be available, so that it would be more equitable and they wouldn't be kind of punished because of the weather. Anyway, just my
thought.
I'm with you, Leslie.
Mary Beth, you've been great about, I know that's out of your control. It's just, I want to make a reservation.
I know.
Hi, Marcus Peters here. I was lucky enough to have the training, but it was basically in and out and docking, and then getting some familiarity with the Rye marina. But as far as like anchoring, and I see a whole bunch of other things on the website that you offer in your training sessions. Is that will be available throughout the season, like further training?
Yes. So what we do with training is our #1 priority is to get new members trained first. Now, if you want additional training, we move you on to the senior dock masters. So you can go directly to, if you're out of Rye, you're going to go to David Lar and set up a time with him to learn how to anchor a boat. You're just going to go out to the flats and drop an anchor, and he'll go through the motions with you.
Right.
We have a lot of videos on our YouTube channel, Carefree Boat Club of Southern Connecticut on YouTube. There's a short one on anchoring. You know, a lot of this has to do with, you know, just doing it. Exactly. You just go out, you try it. If you say, you know, this is Greek to me, I can't figure it out, then get hold of David and down there in Westchester County, or Liz up in Connecticut.
Okay.
We'll watch a video.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Okay.
Hi, Mitch, it's Courtney Stanley. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. The gentleman who just spoke, my family and I predominantly went out of Rye last year, and my first suggestion is to try to make sure that you go out at high tide your first couple of times. It's just, it gets so low, you wouldn't believe it. So
yeah, even in a kayak, I've been out there.
Okay. Oh, so you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So just from experience, I can tell you that. But Mitch, I had a question. So I took the test, and passed, and
okay, turn on the band.
and my husband hasn't had a chance yet. Do I have to make sure he gets that done before ResNet opens in order to make a reservation?
No, you can make the reservation.
Okay. I mean, he's going to
you-
take it.
you're-
He's going to
You
take it.
guys are
but
getting me
I-
set up to get my head bit off again by Marriott.
No. He's going to take it. I promise you, he will definitely take it, but I wanted to ask that tonight. So thank you.
Quiz questions. Kind of switching gears here. The quiz has been interesting. This is the first time we've tried it. Hopefully it's building awareness. If you guys have questions about having taken the quiz, failed the quiz, passed the quiz, Brian's here and he can answer your questions. Anybody want to tee anything up?
Well, I took the quiz several times and I never got my score. Although someone reached out to my husband the first time and said that he passed and I failed. And I took it 3 times after that, never had anything. And then the second quiz looked like it was the same as the first quiz. So I didn't
Yeah, so
bother-
that was kind of by design, the latter part of what you just said there. So, I mean, the way that we envisioned the quiz being taken by our membership, there's so many of you now, and we kind of, the main goal was just to try to educate everyone and get everyone to better understand what they're going to be dealing with when they're out there on the water, looking at a chart. So taking it multiple times, if you take it 10 times and pass once, I still look at that as a fail. And then the second quiz was designed to focus on the problem areas that I saw with people who weren't passing the first quiz. So it was a little bit more specific. Some of the questions were even the exact same because we're just trying to reinforce that the GPS is there as a major tool when you're out there. It can make a great day great, and if you don't pay attention to it, it can make a great day absolutely terrible and incredibly expensive or incredibly dangerous. So
I get
we're
that.
just trying to find ways to encourage everyone to be aware as often as possible and keep their eyes on the water in front of them and on the chart. We've
So it was
ran
really a
into
measurement-
multiple incidents over the years where it's just clear someone just was paying attention to something other than where they actually were. And then they end up with a totaled boat in some of the worst cases, a bleeding passenger, ambulance situation, and we don't want that to happen to any of you. And our goal at the end of the day is to make you all not only safe, but comfortable and competent and confident in your boating ability so that when you do use these reciprocal reservations, you can go out of Marina Del Rey or Fort Lauderdale or some lake in the middle of the country and know what you're doing and how to navigate in waters that are entirely unfamiliar to you.
Okay, so it seemed like it was a measurement of improvement, so you're recommending that we take the test again. Is that it?
Yeah,
Okay,
so if
that's fine.
if you have yet to take, if you did not pass the first quiz and have yet to take the second quiz, I would encourage you to do so as quickly as possible. Again, all of our recommended study materials are listed on our blog, that the link that Mary Beth was speaking about earlier. And then if you happen to not pass the second quiz, we're going to host another Zoom class and just basically go over each question and say, this is what we were trying to prove with this question,
Okay.
and then you're good to go.
All right, so just for your information, I got the quiz mid-February before I took any of the boat training. I didn't do well in the quiz. I took it a couple of times. I never heard back from you. So I never heard back from you as far as how I did. So I'm just letting you know that I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, so the way, again, this is new to us as well.
Okay, got it.
So the way that the quiz software service works is it doesn't, I don't know why, but it doesn't send you as the quiz taker a direct email saying you got 5 out of 10 correct or whatever the case may be.
You know what,
It
no
basically
problem.
just gives you a final slide at the end of the quiz that says congratulations, or we'll be contacting you with
Okay,
more information.
that's
'Cause
great.
even
Thanks
as
so
we
much,
were
Brian.
administering the quiz in the beginning, we weren't quite sure how we were going to handle everything.
Mhm.
So we appreciate everyone working with us on this as we try to iron out the kinks and
Got it.
everything like that.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Can I step in with a question, please? This is Leora.
Absolutely.
It's actually two questions. The first is I've been traveling. I haven't been able to catch up on the quizzes yet. I see that there are those 2 YouTube videos, but there are obviously classes that need to still be, more classes that still need to be scheduled. I'd appreciate if that could happen as soon as possible, if there are going to be more classes.
So if you go on to, if you're on our YouTube channel, you'll see 2 of our prior Zoom classes where we talk more so in the second one about stuff that's more relevant to the quiz. Otherwise, we have some other quick navigation videos on how to use Navionics and Garmin that will just give you some more kind of general idea of what you'll see on the quiz. And then again, if you check out our blog in previous newsletters, I've tried to put a lot of hints in there, like try to pay attention to these symbols and don't so much worry about these sorts of things, just to kind of give you a general idea of what you'll encounter on the quiz.
Great, thank you. Then that's very helpful. My second question is regarding the GPS systems that are going to be on the boats. Because I remember last year when I started, I was explained by the captain who was training me not to trust the GPS because it's going to take me over land. And I then went and downloaded Navionics and was using my phone instead of the GPS. Are the new systems installed, and are they going to show us the difference between how, where not to go over land, or they're just going to give us that straight sort of line from A to B no matter what's in the way?
I don't know who told you that, but they probably don't work with us anymore. They don't. So just like, I mean, the cars are now so sophisticated with their GPSs, but when they first came out, they might lead you down a dead end road thinking that you're connecting to 95 or something like that. But you always want to double check. So Navionics, I recommend to every single person who is going to be captaining a boat. I find it much easier to use your phone or an iPad as the platform, other than something that's hard mounted to the helm. When you're bouncing around, you can't really deal with it. With your phone, you can the phone bounces with you, so you can better see and navigate what you're doing. And with the Garmin's and with Navionics, they have automatic route planning. So you can say, I want to go from Bridgeport Harbor to Port Jeff. It'll automatically make a line, but you still, 80% of the time it's reliable. You still just want to check it, because if the program's going to mess up, it's going to be in the worst spot possible. So just take a look at the line. If it's going to lead you over a reef, you can adjust that line to go around it. And then it's good practice just to know how to operate these systems.
All right, I think I'll have an offline conversation because I was told a very strange thing in my training last year. So I'll catch up with somebody about that offline. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I just have one comment on the test. I understand you guys sent out a whole thing about don't do it on your phone. I did it on my laptop, which is still only a 10-inch screen. If you guys can make the maps that you're putting on there that are part of the questions a little larger, it's relatively difficult to see some of those little tiny things that are in the water.
Are you referring to the first quiz or the second? Because I know that was the problem with the first one.
The first one.
Yeah, so the second I did everything I could to make everything much more clear.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other quiz questions?
I have a quick quiz question. So we have not done our on the water training because of weather. So we haven't taken the quizzes either. When it is time for us to take the quiz, should we take the first quiz or the second quiz? Or does it matter?
I haven't really thought about that. I will catch up with Mary Beth and everyone who hasn't been trained as of probably last week, I think. We'll figure out how we want to approach that. I'll probably just send everyone in your situation a link to the first quiz. It does cover a little bit more, but it's I think now our training captains are kind of more in tune with what we're trying to get across to the membership. So I think that'll be the best way to go, but we'll discuss that and get an email out to you.
Okay, thank you.
I have a quick question regarding the symbols. Is there somewhere where they all are, where we can study them?
Yeah. So the NOAA charts have a schedule 1, chart 1 that lists every possible symbol in the world. So my suggestion is just to get your either Navionics or a Garmin or just the embassy guide charts and go over them. And if you have questions, just circle them, email them to me. We can get you answers on what they are. We're going to do a class where we're going to go over every symbol we can find next week, I believe, and answer those questions. We kind of touched upon many of those symbols in the last Zoom class number 2. But, there's so many symbols out there. It's like hundreds and hundreds of them.
And on that Navionics, is there a way to see what each symbol is if you know the app better, or does it not tell you?
Navionics, if you hover over it, you'll get a cross and then click on it, and it usually tells you what it is. I know if you have a wreck, it's kind of like a smiley face with crossbones on it, like a symbol of a sailboat. It'll tell you that's a wreck. Black stars with red hashing. If you hover over it, it'll tell you it's rocks. The one in the quiz, not to give it all away, but there's a little black rectangle with a ball on top. Both are black, and you hover over that and it'll say danger.
I was wondering if I got that right, and I guess I did. Thank you.
Good.
Mitch, it's Courtney Stanley again. I think it was the last Zoom you had, Captain Rich went over like a sample route to somewhere over in Long Island.
Northport.
Yeah, and I thought that was so helpful. Like, I'm wondering if you guys, maybe it doesn't need to be Zoom. Maybe he could even just do like a video on his phone and then upload it to YouTube of like other like suggested exploration destinations for the area. Like maybe a few that are out of like New Rochelle and Rye, a few that are out of Stamford, and then a couple that's out of Westport. Like I just, that would also, I think, maybe help people like make sure they're going in the right place, and maybe.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. We're actually going to try to jam into this session today a trip up the Connecticut River or a trip from the Connecticut River over to Greenport. And just because it's out of most people's geographic area, and the concept being if you can understand and handle chart reading, you can pretty much go anywhere. So yeah, we'll keep on doing these. I personally kind of like the interaction, people asking questions, but we can do it and just suggest how to go there.
Yeah, I just figured if there's like logistical issues of like trying to figure out right times, like I even a YouTube video I think would be awesome at the very least.
You got it. We'll do them. Okay. Any final questions from this side, our side, or things we missed?
On Thursday, it's Kay Phelan. On Thursday, when ResNet, how many and how far in advance can we book? How many reservations?
So that's a dilemma. So let's assume that we have 2/3 of the fleet in the water by that point in time. You can book out as far as you want. So if something's very important to you and you want to book November 4th, you can do that. Problem is, if that's your weekend reservation, you're a Premier 2, you're not going to be doing very much boating on weekends because you've taken away the right to make reservations throughout the season. So most people book out 2 to 3 weeks.
And you can just do how many reservations? 1 or 2, or how many are you?
Depends upon your membership level. If you're a Premier 2, you can make 2 reservations, 1 weekday, 1 weekend. As a Premier 4, you can do twice as many, 2 weekdays and 2 weekends.
So, and then the eight per for the season?
The 8-pack gives you the same reservation capacity as a Premier 2, 1 weekend and 1 weekday.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Quick question. What time do you open up on Thursday? Is it this Thursday for reservations?
I will start adding boats in at 9 a.m. and it'll be a process. So I'll start with Bridgeport and then move southwest.
Southwest.
Do you expect to have the site crash?
Crash? Oh gosh, I hope not.
I hope not. All right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I got a question, it's Roy. So if you're a Premier 4 and you have 2 weekdays, you could combine them on one day and go out for the whole day?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. And yeah, I gotta go. I don't want to be rude, but you'll work on getting my ResNet up because I can't log in.
From my end, Roy, I don't see any problems. So can you just like try to go to the Southern Connecticut.reservemyboat.com website and try to do that? Just check it from your end because you're good on my end.
Okay, so where do I go? I'm sorry, folks. Just give me the link and I'll do it.
southernct.reservemyboat.com.
.com. So it's Southern, I'm sorry. Southern.
CT.
Southern BP.
How about if I email it to you?
Yeah, please. I don't want to hold people up. Thanks a lot. Have a great night.
It's also it's right up there in the search window of the screen.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Sorry, just a quick question. I'm wondering, in this website, it shows the weather. I'm wondering, what kind of we should watch for? Be careful if it's too high, or just wondering, whether the wind or the others, we need to be careful.
I'm sorry, I'm missing that. You talk about the window up here with the weather?
About weather. So right now, you see, for example, the Westport shows 4 to 7 miles per hour as southwest. Just wondering what's the number that become too high as a new kind of boater. We need to be careful.
Yeah, so looking at the Westport right over here, that's 4-7, so it's 4 to 7 miles an hour. So it's a pretty calm night out. You will get notices on this landing page if we decide to close the club down because it's going to be a nasty day. We close the club down for primarily 2 reasons. One, if the NOAA issues a small craft warning, and that means gusting winds of 25 to 30 miles an hour. So NOAA's telling us it's not very safe. Or we will close the club down if we see pop-up thunderstorms, which could happen even when you're out on the boat. So please keep your phones available and on, because we will call you up if we see a cell of thunderstorms coming your way, and we'll work out a exit plan or a stay plan. You know, sometimes you just best to stay put if you're at a dock.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Is it appropriate now to ask about the number of boats, Mitch, and the number of members in Westport and how many new boats you have?
Sure, I can answer that. So we now have taken over the whole dock. We have actually we created additional 2 slips there. So we're gonna have 11 slips this season. We'll have 10 boats to start the year off fairly soon after we open up. We are waiting on boats to come in. So I know everybody's expecting for us to have 42 boats on May 8th. That won't happen because the boat manufacturers aren't getting them out as fast enough. We ordered boats in particular from Cobia last year, and now they're giving us delivery dates in October, November, and December. So we've been scurrying around trying and purchasing other brands of boats to replace that. But Westport's looking actually pretty good. They may be 1 or 2 boats short maybe 1 boat short by Memorial Day.
Okay. And how many members do you have in Westport?
I don't know that answer, but we do keep that ratio of 7 to 1. It's based on a Premier 4 member. So a Premier 4 is considered a full membership because they can make 2 weekend reservations, and it's all based on weekends.
So you can't tell me how many members in all you have?
I can tell you across the whole company, I don't know what it is by club.
And how many new boats will you have in Westport?
Mary Beth, can you read that?
How many what?
New boats?
1, 2.
So we've sold most of our 2018s, and we definitely sold Saugatuck Express was a 2017. So our boats are 2019 through 2021, and a small number of 2018.
So mostly, I mean, my impression from you is that they were going to be all new boats in Westport. So am I wrong about that?
Yes.
Okay. So
I'm sorry if I gave you that impression, but we try to rotate the boats
trying
out
to get an idea.
the 3rd year.
Okay. And what kind of boats are you going to have in Westport this year?
It's the same style of boats we have everywhere: bow riders, center consoles, the inflatable brigs, dual consoles.
Okay. Great. So lastly, and I'll leave you alone, my husband did not get an email regarding the ResNet situation. So if Mary Beth could send that again to John, my husband, that would be great, or to me, either one. He seems to get all the emails. I don't.
Okay, we can do that.
Sorry.
Send it right now.
Thank you so much, Mary Beth. Thanks, Mitch. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask, I have to sign off quickly. To post this Zoom on your YouTube station?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you.
Try to get it up tomorrow.
Information.
This is Lisa McIver. I have a couple questions. One was, did you mention earlier that if you gave up a weekend, you could have a full day during the week?
Yeah, I call it downgrading, but not a great term.
Right.
but you can use your weekend reservation and as a weekday.
Okay, or could it be 2 weekdays? Could you take, how does that work?
So if
Or
you
just,
have a Premier 4 reservation.
no,
membership,
we have the 8-pack.
yeah, you can take your one weekday and one weekend and book a boat all day during the week, Monday through Friday.
Okay, so basically you're just transferring your half-day weekend to a weekday. You don't get any more time
No.
for it. Okay. And then you might have mentioned this before, but I didn't hear it. And I could always check on the website, but what happens with fuel? How does that work?
So we didn't talk about it, so you're not wrong there.
Okay.
When you return, the dock staff will read the fuel meter. Most of the boats are digital, and they will charge your credit card when you return for the actual number of gallons you used.
Okay, and we get the actual cost. We don't have to worry about like we don't do it ourselves, right?
No, you don't have to fuel the boat yourself. Just make sure that you have a credit card with you. It makes our life much easier.
They swipe it right there.
Right.
Okay. And about how much fuel is on the boats? Like how many hours of fuel, or does it depend on the boat?
It depends upon the boat. The center console fishing boats tend to hold 130 to 160 gallons. So what does that really mean? Brian did a study a couple of years ago, and the average boater for a 5-hour outing was 10 to 12 gallons of gas.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to worry about like being out and running out of fuel.
You could, if it's a busy, crazy, long weekend and a fuel dock goes down, you should definitely be responsible and look at the fuel gauge on board.
Okay.
Mitch, first time member here. Just wondering, do the boats go out full, or you're going to take a boat out that might have a half a tank?
You could take out a boat that have a half a tank. We try to keep the boats at 75% or greater, especially the ones that have smaller tanks. A smaller tank was on the Bayliners, which we, thank God, only have one more left to get rid of. And those are 40-gallon tanks. The Chaparrals, I believe, are in the 50, 60, maybe 75 range.
Okay, thank you.
But if you're going to take a boat out all day and you're just going to burn gas, you just want to put miles on, you're going to go from Bridgeport to the Statue of Liberty, up the Hudson River, and turn around, come back nonstop, wave at everything. You better make sure that you tell the dock master that beforehand, so they get that thing gassed up for you.
Yeah, got it. Okay, thank
I
you.
don't think that's on our radar, but all right. Thank you. Captain Rich was great the other night too. So we had a really good training with him last week.
Good to hear.
What is the capacity for the different boats, and is that on the ResNet description of the boat?
Yeah, when you go in to make your reservation, you can, it will tell you the size of the boats, the horsepower and capacity.
Okay.
I always warn people we put 8 adult life jackets on board.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to go past 8, you should call the dock master, because some boats have it's a limitation of number of people or weight.
Right. Okay. Are any of these boats inboard motor? Are they all like the dual consoles are inboard, right?
Yeah, every boat that we have will be an outboard.
Oh, okay.
Oh, except, excuse me, just corrected. We do have a boat up here in Old Saybrook. For those who don't remember that, it's a 24-foot twin engine jet boat.
Cool. All right.
Okay, guys, I think that will wrap us up. Last chance.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks all. Have a good evening.